A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Jesus entered a village where a woman whose name was Martha welcomed him. She had a sister named Mary who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak. Martha, burdened with much serving, came to him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me by myself to do the serving? Tell her to help me." The Lord said to her in reply, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her." The Gospel of the Lord.
I believe our gospel passage today about Martha and Mary is one that people find very relatable, right? That you can put yourself in their shoes, if you will. I mean, how many of us have been on hand for the healing of a blind person, curing of a leper, or other such beautiful accounts that we hear in the gospel? I didn't think so. On the other hand, we've all had guests over for dinner, right? And I'm guessing that many of us also have found ourselves with guests over for dinner and looking at somebody else and thinking or saying, "Why am I doing all of the work? Huh? Can't you help out some?" So like I said, I think we can, we can get right into their shoes here in this gospel. We might relate to one or the other, Martha or Mary, more fully. I've even had people, shall we say, taking sides. Taking sides, Sometimes it's somebody quietly admitting, "Father, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I'd probably be right there with Mary at Jesus' feet, not helping out with anything." And others saying, "Well, Father, Martha had a point, didn't she? Mary should have been up helping her with getting dinner ready. Or at least, or those disciples? One of those disciples could have been giving a hand getting dinner ready, couldn't they? But I think the key thing to remember is Martha or Mary, they're both saints, right? We honor both Martha and Mary as saints of the church. And you know what that says to me? There's hope for us all, huh? There's hope for us all. So earlier this week, after morning mass, I asked Deacon Robert if he would like to come over for dinner, and Deacon said yes. And I started asking Deacon some questions about his food preferences, his likes and dislikes, and I think Deacon had presumed we were going to go out to eat because he looked kind of confused as I was asking him these questions. And then finally Deacon says, "Oh, you're planning on cooking?" I said, "Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan." So, went about our respective days and what we had going on. And that afternoon, I was over at the store doing some shopping, and I had decided I can pretty much throw something together with whatever's on hand. I decided I'd like to maybe do a little bit nicer here for this evening, and go to the store and see what looks good, what catches my attention, and started out by heading for the main dish, the meat dish, and I really had a taste for barbecue ribs, but I was like, that's so messy. Do you really do barbecue ribs for a nicer sit-down kind of meal? Probably not. So then, okay, chicken. Oh, crud. I don't know if Deacon likes white meat, light meat, or if he prefers dark meat. I suppose I could give him a call. A steak, that's it. I'll get a steak. You can't go wrong with a steak, right? So I'm walking past, I'm looking at the different cuts of beef, and not particularly impressed with any of them. None of them are looking very good. And till I see some ribeye. Oh, absolutely gorgeous cuts of ribeye. And then I see the price per pound. I'm like, not on this budget, not in this lifetime, back to the chicken. I was like, okay, what vegetable to get? They had asparagus. You know, asparagus seems to be something that people either love or hate, huh? I was like, oh, they got some nice looking asparagus, but I don't know, do I take a chance? Oh, what the heck, I like asparagus, I'll do it. And then I'll do something bland like a potato, just, as backup vegetable sort of thing. And I was like, I am trying to make this a little bit of a nicer dinner. So a bottle of wine, chicken, white wine, right? Oh, crud. Does he like sweet wine, or would he prefer more of a dry wine? A Chardonnay or a Riesling? Or maybe he doesn't like white at all, and so maybe I better get a bottle of red. At this point, it's like, okay, if I'm getting all these different bottles, we're definitely going for the $10 and below price range. So in any case, I get everything and get back to the rectory and working on making dinner, putting things together, and all that kind of stuff. And the dining room table, I admit, at my rectory tends to be sort of a catch-all location. I mean, just a single guy living by himself, right? And so you'll have everything on there from, my bottles of prescription pills to bills that need to be paid to laundry that needs folded. And I admit I'm guilty of, when I'm just by myself, just kind of shoving piles around a little bit, make myself a space. I was like, nope, I need to actually clear the table, fold everything up, put everything away, set the table nicely. So I do that. And it's starting to get to about the time when Deacon said he was going to come, so I'm starting to check the time. Are things coming along right? Is everything going to be prepared in time? Deacon arrives. I notice when he comes in that he's carrying his breviary, the book of prayers. I mean, it's for everyone, but in particular, priests, deacons, and those in religious life, kind of, if you will, organize our life around these times of prayer. It gives us our morning prayer, our midday prayer, our evening prayer, our night prayer. And like I said, we're called to organize rest of our life around these times of prayer. I was like, okay, cool, he has his breviary. Mine was sitting on one of the kitchen counters, right next to one of the most important things in the kitchen, the dog treats. So, he gets in, we chat a little bit, things are getting ready, I'm putting stuff out on the table, and it's just about ready to eat, and Deacon says, Father, let's pray evening prayer. And without really even thinking about what I was saying, I snapped back, no, dinner's on the table, that can wait till later. Martha, Martha, Martha. I could just hear the Lord shaking his head and going, Ian, 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 you are anxious and worried about many things. Boy, did I pull a Martha, didn't I, huh? Let the real focus get totally lost in the midst of all the worry, anxiety, and activity of the moment and of the day. But like I said, keep hope. They're both saints of the church, right? They're both saints of the church. Maybe you are more of a Martha. Maybe you are more of a Mary. I think it actually can depend on life circumstance, right? On what's going on at the moment. But the main thing is, whether you're a Martha or a Mary, keep Christ at the heart of it all, right? Keep the Lord at the center of everything.